My guest at this time is one of the fastest rising stars in all of MLW. It is the Judge EJ Nduka. EJ, thank you so much for taking the time to talk with me today for the Wrestling Inc. Daily.
Thank you for having me, Nick.
Yeah, man. So it's been a minute here since we got to catch up last. You've been through a war chamber. You've continued to kind of grow as a performer in MLW. How is it feeling now that it's been a couple months in with MLW to finally stretch your legs, get some feel for the space, and start to really find yourself as a wrestler?
Yeah, we haven't talked in quite a while, but a lot of things have happened in the MLW. A lot of things have happened in my life during that time. Like you said, I've got an opportunity to do the War Chamber. Had multiple matches. Got an opportunity to go to Mexico, and that match is coming up this week, Thursday at 8:00. And it's just been a blessing. I've been backstage with some of the greatest. We've had tons and tons of grade A quality talents come through that door. Been able to work with David Richards, who's been awesome.
Yeah.
Learning from some of the top guys backstage, Hammerster on Fatu, the most marketable Richard Holiday. There's a lot of guys back there that are phenomenal, have been doing this for a long time, and just being able to bounce off some ideas and just grow with them and just, bring MLW to the highest pinnacle that we can has been awesome.
Yeah, you rattled off a couple cool experiences. I'll slow it down here real quick, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're a purebred athlete. You were trained in the WWE Performance Center. How is it being inside of a steel cage and having to take that kind of violence on? I mean, it's definitely not just a normal kind of match. How was that experience for you?
It was dope. Like, I mean, I grew up watching cage matches, leading up to the cage match, War Chamber. I was so excited. I just reached out to as many people as I can, just kind of, creating some ideas. That match was awesome. It was a lot of energy, the people involved, we had Cobb in the building. It was just tremendous. And the audience was really, really receptive to it. And, they always show love to us in Philly. And so it was a great experience.
What's it like getting to work with Savio Vega? I love Savio Vega so much.
Mm-hmm. Savio Vega, I mean, he's an incredible mind. I mean, he's been in the business probably longer than I've been alive. And so just, just being able to talk to him, just little ideas that you may have, go to him. He'll just broaden it even more, because there's nothing that beats, that level of experience, that level of just genius that he has. And he's just overall a really good guy.
Yeah, and so you also brought up how you got to go down to Mexico here for the match that we're all going to get to see this Thursday night.
Correct.
How, again, going back to the fact that you were trained a very specific way, and you were really kind of in a bubble, right? Where like you didn't have the chance to go play in front of a bunch of different kinds of crowds. How is that for you, going down to Mexico and getting introduced to that culture and getting to know those fans? Yeah.
Man, I mean, that arena is incredible. There's so much history behind it. Those fans are amazing. I was bragging about those fans before I even left the building. In Mexico, they just have this sense of just innocence, and they're just really there to be excited. They're not there to kind of like nitpicking the wrestling or how you look. They just want to be entertained. And if you do that, man, they are going to ride with you from the beginning of the match to the very end. Like, I was thoroughly surprised. I didn't even know in Mexico that they throw money in the ring. They, when they really love you, and the audience, and there's so many little kids as opposed to like here in the States, there's kids in the audience, but in Mexico, like, there are so many kids just rooting and cheering. And I understand a little bit of Spanish. So, going back, after my match, they had to play my song twice because these kids were not letting me go back. And
you're a big guy. You're like one of those larger than life, like actual looks like pro wrestlers. That's got to be. Right. I mean, and especially after being just kind of in a performance center for how long? 2-3 years you were there?
I was there. I was in the performance center for 18 months, just learning and training. Not really because of COVID and the number of situations that I don't want to go back into, but it was just sitting around just training and not being able to put what we've learned into motion, and then finally to do it in front of a live audience in Mexico. I mean, it doesn't get any better than that. But they were, like I said, it was awesome. My shout out to Emilio, who was my producer. It was one of his first matches that he produced. Excellent match put together, and you guys are gonna see it on Thursday.
So, did you get any lucha training at the Performance Center or with MLW before this experience, or were you picking up some things that you hadn't done before when you were down in Mexico?
So actually, what's funny? I never like to go into any situation unprepared. That's just the way I am. So in the PC, there's not really any luchador coaches. We have a lot of luchadors though. So
Right.
I reached out to Escobar, my boy Santos. Reached out to him. We went up, met up at a private ring, and we did it a couple times. And he taught me a lot about the basing, different move sets, different spots, and just what to look out for. And that helped me tremendously.
I
Like,
bet. Yeah.
yeah. And I mean, he's one of the greatest in the industry right now. He's been holding down NXT for a while. You know, that man's main event talent. So just being able for him to be reciprocal. And I mean, whenever I hit him up, he's always very helping. So he was able to, meet up with me. We met over a course of several days and just kept training. And then when I went out to Mexico, he was one of the people I was constantly in contact with and just kind of shooting ideas off of him.
Dude, that's so awesome. Like,
Yeah.
I can't imagine a better one-on-one teacher if you're looking to go
Right. That's literally.
Dude, there doesn't get any better than that.
It
That's
doesn't. It doesn't. And
So
he's such a good guy too, family man. So we're cut from the same cloth. So he knows the situation that I'm in. So he was just more than willing to help.
So do you wish that, like, when you were being developed down there, you'd have had access to lucha training, Japanese strong style, and not so much just kind of this one particular WWE style that I think fans
when I was down there, I came in with Santos Escobar. I came in with Austin Theory. I came in with some of these people that you see on TV now that are incredible athletes. So after class, I wasn't just sitting around and going home. I would stay after and I would work with Santos Escobar. I would work with the Austin Theories, and I'll just kind of pick their minds because they're at where I want to be, and so I knew that I couldn't do what everybody else was doing and expecting different results. I wanted to be the greatest, and I've said it over and over. And so I took the steps so that when I'm in the ring, I'm like, I know I'm prepared because I've worked with some of the greatest in the business.
Yeah, and you put over Santos Escobar, man. Like,
yeah.
Do you feel it's unfortunate to lose your job, right? But
Right.
do you feel fortunate that you were kind of at the front of that wave and were able to get a spot at MLW? Because since your release, there's been so many other names, and I got to imagine it's getting very difficult to find a spot on any kind of roster at the moment.
There's a lot of talent in the free agent pool right now, incredible amount of talent. And I always say this, like I've said it in a number of other interviews. My wife and I talk about it. It was almost a blessing that I was released that early in that first wave because, like I said, a lot of talent came afterwards, and I got an opportunity, to work with MLW, and my career has just gone vertical. You know what I mean? I've done war chambers. I've been all around the world. I've been all in the United States, different kinds of matches. I've got a number of matches coming up right now scheduled that, I don't think that I would have gotten that opportunity had I been in the Performance Center because it was just too many people, too many brains, too many ideas, there's just too much going on. Whereas now in MLW, they recognize my talent, they recognize my skill, and they're giving me the platform to show the world.
Yeah, dude. And it's got to feel nice to be in a space like that. I mean, what is it when you watch what's happening right now with WWE's developmental with just so much turnover and many of the people that you work side by side with, now just completely gone. Like, what is your reaction to kind of seeing that the drastic decisions they're making with their developmental right now?
My heart goes out to a lot of those people because, as fans and people outside the business, you don't realize a lot of these people uproot their entire families. They have jobs, they have careers, they have things that they're doing before they get this opportunity. And then they come out there for some of them a couple months and then they get released. And it's not anything against them. There's just, at the time, there's nothing for them or whatever the situation may be. But it's a big deal, man. Like we moved all the way from Southern California when we originally came over to Orlando. My wife had recently just graduated law school. I had a very, very successful medical spa business that I was doing. And I ended up, selling it to come chase this dream. And, unfortunately, things didn't happen exactly as I wished it happened in the moment. But, there's a lot of life to live. The judge ain't going nowhere. I'm only getting better. And I'm just blessed to be here. My son's healthy. My wife's doing great. And MLW has been good to me. I'm learning, like I said, from the best. I've got top producers backstage, top agents, top owners, top athletes. You know, this is just chapter 1 of the book of Judges, and we just get started.
Yeah, man, it's got to feel nice, right? To be cut like that and improve yourself, you know, and
Right.
go out there and show your value. You know, it's
Right.
it's a great experience, man. So,
And I always say, go ahead.
No, go ahead. You go ahead.
No, I said when you feel like you're stagnant or you're not, progressing, and you kind of feel like you're pigeonholed, you begin to get frustrated, and that's never a good mental space. But in the MLW, it's the opposite.
Well, MLW Azteca again Thursday night. You're in action, so
Right.
I don't know if I'm allowed to say who you're against or whatever, but like, what do you want fans to expect this Thursday night from when they get to see you in action in front of all these hot Mexican fans?
So the fans should expect that the judge is gonna come with it. This is gonna be one of the first matches on TV that it's one-on-one in a different country against a different opponent that hasn't been announced yet. I brought out, some of the stops. I didn't bring out all the cars, but I brought most of them, and you guys will be thoroughly excited.
Cool. And EJ, where do you want to send people to support you on social media and all those good things?
All right, you guys can follow me on Instagram at EJ_. Very simple. I'm the original at EJ_. Twitter is at EJ the Judge. Real easy. And you guys come check out my pro wrestling t-shirt. I got new merch. The new premium Judge line is coming out this week. So we've got super fight coming up, intimidation games. You guys want to be dripped out, and I'm talking about real drip. I'm not talking about manufactured. They tell you it's drip. I'm talking about real drip at my store.
Are you saying a nice pair of Jordans isn't enough to just say you got drip now?
Hey, I mean, drip is all about this. You can't just have one item and be like, hey, look at me, I'm dripping. No, drip is a lifestyle. It's like who you are, Some people have been drippy since childhood, Some people just came on the drip. But the judge is here to help you out with some drip. You know what I'm saying? And I got some shirts. Okay. So come check out and support your boy. I appreciate y'all.